what our recommended bet was for the game. So entering this week, me and Brendan had 1-0 records. We nailed the pick against Minnesota. Brody came in with 0-1 record. I can go first. So I recommended under 30.5 first half. They blew that right out of the water. It was 42 points in the first half. 28-14 Ducks had the lead. So I am 1-1 on the season. Brendan, he recommended Jordan Davison over 53.5 rush yards. He thought that Davison would roll. And for the most part, he did. 13 carries, 50 yards. He did his part, but fallen just short, which is a heartbreaker for Brendan. So we're both 1-1.
Yeah, and then I also had an under bet. I had under 59.5. That did not hit. I think they were close to hitting the over in the first half, or at least that's what it felt like. So I do think it's worth noting for Brendan that Davison probably would have got that, but it was senior night, and I think Lenny was trying to get Whittington a couple extra carries, 100 yards against USC. So that's a tough beat for Brendan, but yeah, 0-2 for me. Not a good record. It's okay.
Not good, but me and Brendan still tied for first place with a couple games left. Hopefully a lot of games left. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
So we can move on to potential Big Ten championship scenario, which 4 or 5 weeks ago when the Ducks lost to Indiana, it didn't seem like this would be much of a chance because Indiana obviously they're rolling through the league and they held the tiebreaker over the Ducks by beating them, and then Ohio State. They weren't going to face a ranked opponent until Michigan, which is the season finale next week. And at the time that the Ducks lost in Week 7, Michigan had also lost to USC, dropping them to 4-2. So they didn't necessarily look like a contender at all either. But now the scenario is set. Just 2 game results in Week 14 need to happen. Ducks need to beat Washington. And then Ohio State needs to lose to Michigan. And the game's being played in the Big House, so 100,000 people will be cheering against them. Michigan and Bryce Underwood are 9-2. They're also, arguably playing for a college football playoff spot if they finish the regular season with 2 losses. 2-loss Big Ten team could make it in. So, Brody, I pose the question to you. Do the Ducks want to make the Big Ten championship, or should they root for Ohio State to win and get extra rest before the first round and have a home game at Autzen, or should they play Indiana in the Big Ten championship? What should they want?
Well, I'm never going to root for Ohio State to win, especially not against Michigan. I feel like Ducks Twitter's got a pretty good alliance with Michigan, but we'll see. Ohio State's lost the last 4 years against them. I think the talent gap is pretty wide. I think if Michigan beats them, they absolutely have to be in the playoff because that's the best win in the country. Ohio State's has looked unbeatable so far this season. Stands 80%. The run game looks good. Their defense looks elite. So I think they should absolutely be in at 10-2 with the best one in the country. And as far as making the Big Ten championship, I just think conference championships at this point are almost useless because people are even talking about if Alabama makes the conference championship, so they just beat Auburn. That's all they have to do to make it. If they lose, they don't even have 100% shot to make the playoff at 10-3. And the committee doesn't want to punish teams for playing an extra game in the championship, but they might not have a choice if someone like BYU upsets Texas Tech in the Big 12 chip or anything scenario like that happens. So championship games, I think they are eventually going to become a thing of the past, but we still have to play them today. I think they're pretty useless, but if I'm Oregon, I obviously want to play in it. I'm all for playing more games in competition and wanting to beat up on someone that we won. And then if we won Big Ten chip, then we get a first round bye, and they've kind of fixed the format a little bit this year. So, yeah, I would rather, as a fan, I'd rather see us play in Autzen, but I would be fine with being a Big Ten chip because it's always good to have the competition, and then you have a better setup for playoffs technically. So I don't know. I don't really think it matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm on your side. I think it doesn't. I think if they suffer a second loss in the Big Ten chip, the committee would. It wouldn't hurt their. They'd still get a home game at Autzen. I think. Whether it comes against as a number 5 or number 6 seed against the ACC or group of 6 representative, or if they'd be number 7, that's a huge difference. I would lean towards being 6. They would land at 6, depending on how the game goes. But yeah, I think of course, from a program perspective, player, coach, they want to play in the Big Ten championship. They won it last year. They want to defend the crown. First 2 years being in the Big Ten, winning it both years, that would be huge. But there is the big talk about injuries and getting healthy, because Big Ten championship is the week after they play Washington, and we've had offensive injuries. Isaiah World didn't play his normal snap count at left tackle. Alex Harkey's missed a game at right tackle. Janoris Wilson, the backup right tackle, missed last game as well. And then all the receiver injuries. I think there is definitely a case to be made both ways. If you don't make the Big Ten championship, you get 20 to 21 days of rest before the first round of the playoff. But like I said, winning that championship, getting a chance to defend it would be pretty awesome. Pretty cool for the program. And getting that first round bye, that's another 20 to 21 days after that from there. So I think, yeah, you weigh the differences, weigh the ups and downs of it, but definitely I think as an Oregon fan and player perspective, you should want to be in the championship. Do we want to break down the college football playoff list, Brody?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, so my list, I can run through it real quick. This is what I think the college football playoff committee will have on Tuesday night. So number 1, Ohio State; 2, Indiana; 3, Texas A&M; 4, Georgia. I think those are obvious 4. And then 5, Texas Tech. They were there already. And then I think at 6 is where Oregon lands. I think they were at number 7. Ole Miss was number 6. I think Oregon jumps them. Ole Miss was on a bye, so I don't think the committee will love dropping them after they didn't even play a game. But Oregon's win over number 15 USC, that's the biggest win of the season for them. I think that's you can't keep them in the same spot. And then I have 8, Oklahoma. They had a big win over Missouri where their defense was just lights out. Number 9, Notre Dame. They won 70-7 over poor Syracuse. Number 10, Alabama. No changes there. And I think Virginia gets in for the ACC. Pitt and Miami play each other next week, and the winner of that will likely be in the championship. Virginia has, I think they play Virginia Tech, so that shouldn't be too much of a worry. And then I like North Texas to make it in as the group of 6 representative. Drew Messmaker is having a great season. All they got to do is beat Temple in the season finale. They also need another result. They need Navy to lose to Memphis in the season finale. I think that'll happen. They're both 8-3. Memphis is really good. Navy's really good as well, but I like North Texas. That's sort of a rooting interest as well, because I want to see Drew Messmaker on the big stage.